wanted to get your thoughts on coming up. We got a huge welterweight fight. We got Ian Machado Garry, who's 6'3", 170 pounds. He's only 28 years old. He's got 17 wins, 7 KOs, 1 submission, 9 decisions, taking on Islam Makhachev, who's now 34 years old. He's got 28 wins, 5 KOs, 13 submissions, 10 decisions. If someone gave you $10,000 right now to bet on that fight, where are you putting it?
I think the odds, because of the style, favors Makhachev probably. Because of the the styles. I think Islam Makhachev have maybe more ways to win the fight. So if I'm just thinking rational, according to the odds, I think it favors Makhachev. But Ian Garry definitely has all the chance also on his side to do it. He's a very good striker. He's very long. He's great a great grappler as well. But he need, I think, to find a way to keep the fight standing, and to use his style to his own advantage. But Islam Makhachev is, stylistically, he's a freaking nightmare to fight for anyone. He's, I think, right now, the best pound for pound on the planet.
I would trust that Islam would know better than me what his next opponent does in the standing position. And Islam says he runs away. I'm just sharing for you. I'm going to have to go back and rewatch that. That surprises me. I've never watched Ian and thought he ran away. But it would be encouraging if he does. The number one thing, if you're going to deal with Islam and the rest of us on the outside, is as difficult as we have all found it to be interested in Islam. There is an interest in seeing Islam lose. For anybody that's got an incredible record and has seemingly been bulletproof. There is one interesting thing, which is to see somebody that can get through, that can get a bullet through that shield. Is Ian the guy? Well, if Ian is the guy, or whoever is the guy, question one is going to be, can you stop the takedown? And question 1B is going to be the cardio. Can you hold up? Ian Garry held up. He held up against Rakhmonov. I got to give him credit for that. This is off the top of my head, but wasn't Ian Garry's fight with Protas? Wasn't that 5 rounds? Either way. If Ian is going to back up, and Islam's way of dealing with that is not the standard way, which is cut him off.
Ian Garry is so talented inside that octagon. Nightmare of a matchup for guys. Not a finisher. Stylistically, a nightmare for everyone, including Islam Makhachev. This is a fact. It's not going to be an easy fight. That being said, outside of the octagon, he might have the worst interviews I've ever seen. His PR is so bad. He's the only guy I'd ever go, let's not do any promo for this fight. You're turning everybody off. It's so bad. It's so bad. Say what you want about Hokit. At least we know it's an act. It's not really him. It's a WWE thing. He says some hellacious shit. At least we know it's an act. With Ian Machado Garry, this is, I don't know who the fuck he's listening to. His wife, I assume, controls that. Buddy, you got to tighten up. This is coming from a fan. You got to tighten your ship up, pal. You are not doing well in this PR game. You're doing great in the UFC, but as far as PR goes, bro, could there be a worse interviewer? God damn, he's bad. And these cuck outlets he's going on, it's, hey man, do you know the UFC fan base? And I'm like, he's trolling when he's like, the world would be so much better if it was ran by women. It's like, hey man, I'm sure you and your wife talk about things at night. That doesn't mean you should use it to promote a cage fight against the pound for pound #1 guy in the world.
If you just jump out, you don't even have to play the game. But once they catch you in it, then you have to actually go through it. So I think if he found himself in a leg entanglement with a higher level guy, I do believe he would be able to finish some of them. I have question marks like you, though, on can he even get to that position without looking like he's flopping on the ground?
Yep, it'll be very interesting. I mean, now's the time. It's 5 straight wins, 3 bonuses. Like, I hope he gets, someone that we think presents a little more danger, because this just felt like an inevitable result against Thomas Pedersen. All respect to him. So it's what it is, but we shall see. Okay, let's get into our draft now. As I said off the top, Alan, there's 5 UFC events in the month of August, so a lot going on here, a lot of fights scheduled, a lot to unpack. We came up with our own lists of our kind of top 10, and we're going to go back and forth drafting them from most anticipated until we hit 10 fights. Obviously, many more than 10 on the books, maybe more fights to be added to some of these later in the month cards. I think UFC 330 could use a little bit of main card help in terms of recognizable names, but what we have at the time of this recording is what we are going off as the month approaches here. Let's just get right into it. Since you are the guest, I assume we have the same.
As the fight of the summer draws nearer, there is a new level of discussion going on about Islam Makhachev versus Ian Machado Garry.
One plays out. The interesting thing about that fight, because I kind of looked it up, and I think this is kind of common knowledge, but Gary's going to be like the biggest opponent he's fought as far as like the height and reach. So I do wonder if Garry can kind of keep him on the outside or stuff those takedowns. What do you make of the main event?
Yeah, I don't know, because Garry is tall, he's long, but he's not like a Morales where he's like big and strong as well. Like Ian's not putting guys out with one shot. He doesn't really have that capability. So I don't think it's gonna be too hard for Islam to get him down. Like, yeah, Ian's definitely long, but Ian's tall, but his reach is only 74 inches. So it's not like he has
like a crazy reach. Yeah.
Where it'd be a lot harder to get past his arms. I just think it's one-way traffic for Islam. I think he's going to get him down, and I think he will sub him. And I've seen stuff. Ian's not the heaviest 170 pounder either. Like, I think he fought in California where they release your weights for the fight night. I seen one where I think he only gained like 11 pounds. Like, he was like 181 in the back. Like, I was like 198 like my last fight in the back. Like. Some of us 70, like, we get big, and he's just not. And I'm not saying that means a whole lot, but it definitely means something, So yeah, he is tall, he is quote unquote long, but yeah, I don't think Islam's going to have too hard of a time.
Islam and Garry, welterweight title fight. You did have the one welterweight fight up there, so you got a little bit of experience up in that weight class. But just what's your thoughts on that fight, the build up, all that? I mean, that's a pretty big fight that's headlining your card.
I think it's a really good fight, and I think Ian is going to surprise a lot of people with how talented he is and how skillful he is. Actually, I trained with him for the Carlos Prates fight, so I'm excited to go see him perform as well. And I think he gets it done, so we'll see.
Former champions, elite coaches, and analysts alike are deconstructing the fight in terms of its striking aspects, its wrestling, and everything else that might give us an insight into how this fight will go. Instead of just saying who will win the fight, they are predicting the exact manner in which it will take place, and all the strategies and moments that will lead up to this year's most interesting title fight. So, what did they have to say? Let's break it down.
Welcome to the party, sir. Do you think Islam retires if he finishes Ian Garry? I think if he finishes Ian Garry, he'll have another one or maybe 2 more after that. No, I think if he finishes him, he's going to stick around for a little while longer. But it really all depends on who they can get in front of him. That's the problem, Will Islam be able to take down Ian Garry? Eventually. The question is not whether he can get him down. The question is how often, how quickly, and how long he can maintain that. Can he get him down? I think so. How much is he going to struggle for it, though?
Ian Machado Garry is taking on Islam Makhachev. And I don't know what the most thoughtful question is. I'm curious, if you were training Ian Machado Garry for this exercise, what are you focused on in training camp, knowing you're fighting a guy that is just so well versed at everything? And what are your thoughts about Ian's chances?
Look, well, first off, I mean, obviously you got to get the wrestling squared away, which isn't easy to do because the guy's at a super high level, but there is a big size discrepancy, Ken. You know what I mean? Like he is long and lanky. I think he's awkward. He's not like the most technically sound. And I think that actually is going to give Islam trouble, because I think he's just a little quirky with everything. And he's got the size, I think, to give this guy trouble. He's big. Ian Garry's a big kid. This is a big 170 pounder. So I'm really curious to see how it plays out. But Islam is so squared away everywhere, and he's dedicated. Puts the time in with training and all that stuff. So I think it's a great matchup. I think it's a really, really good matchup.
Well, I think Ian Machado Garry will lead the dance when it comes to promoting this fight. And I'm sure you've spoken to Ian before, interviewed him. He has something. He has something special. When he came to the UFC, I had my concerns because this first couple of fights was nowhere near where he's at now, right? He was fighting B-level fighters and getting clipped at times. And so I was like, I don't know if this guy's going to be the star that he thinks he's going to be, but I've seen an evolution of him since then. And also in that, having spoken to him before and interviewed him, he's got a true, real, genuine, it's not artificial. It's a real belief in himself. And that's always so powerful and dangerous. And he has that. So I always think he has a chance. Always think he has that opportunity. I think he will lead the dance. He will find some interesting things to say. He will find something to kind of take digs at Islam and try to find a trigger right there. But surprisingly, I like this little bit of trash talking that we're seeing from Islam. I think I saw something this morning where Islam said something about the only thing Charles Oliveira is going to teach you is how to tap very fast. And that was kind of snappy from Islam.
What does this win mean for Islam? Well, beating Ian Garry will break Anderson Silva's record of longest win streak in UFC history. Anderson has 16 wins in a row, tied with Islam. Islam will separate away from him with 17, which is historically one of the hardest accomplishments, with the fact that nobody has been able to do that in 13 years, back when Anderson lost to Chris Weidman. Some fighters got close, like Kamaru Usman, like Merab Dvalishvili, but the fact that nobody beat Anderson Silva's record for 13 years is astonishing. If Islam pulls it off, that will be in the record books probably forever. I don't know if anybody can beat that. And 7 of those wins would be title fights across 2 different divisions. That alone will bring Islam's greatness to a whole different level. But that's not it. A win against Garry also rises Islam into the elite group of 4 champions who defended their title in 2 divisions. There's only been 4.
Amidst the ongoing discussion about the bout, the champ himself, Islam has kept his eyes and ears open to one thing, that is being fully ready for the big day. As per recent news, the champion spoke about his training camp and said that everything is going as planned. Once again, he surrounded himself with the coaches and teammates in New Jersey, and it was none other than Khabib Nurmagomedov who has been in charge of the preparation of the team, while they have been putting up a great effort in the gym each day.
Well, speaking of your own career, we're obviously a couple weeks out from your title defense against Ian Machado Garry at Philly at UFC 330. How has camp been? How's preparation been? What do you make of Ian as an opponent?
Yeah, everything is going very well. We stay in the same gym. Like last couple of fights, we stay in New Jersey and training in Nick Cotton MMA. It's very nice gym. I have too many my brothers and friends and sparring partner with me. Almost all team is here. We're training together. Khabib is here, Javier is here, and we're training every day very hard.
Makhachev has also ruled out the theory that his impending bout against Garry is nothing but the resolution of a conflict between the 2 countries. Despite the background shared by the boxers of the 2 nations, Makhachev has stated that it is just yet another defense of his title. However, the champ could not resist the temptation of making fun of his rival and made it clear that he has been running around for quite some time within the training camp because Garry keeps moving all the time. He believes that he has already figured out the way of fighting and strategies of his rival, and his only aim is to go after him and throw him down.
To be ready.
And obviously Dagestan and Ireland have a bit of history with Khabib and Conor, obviously Paul Hughes and Usman over in PFL. You're preparing for another Irishman yourself. What do you make of he as an opponent and kind of carrying on that rivalry between countries?
This is just like a regular opponent. It's nothing some between country, but still we have 2-0 now. It's going to be 3-0.
Has Ian any different than your past opponents? Because obviously he's very tall, he's very rangy, he can make the fight slow if he wants to. What do you make of his skill set?
His skills, I just have to run in this camp too much because I have to follow him because he runs too much. I know his game plan. We always see his fight, and he has same style always. But I will try to catch him, take him down, just what I did with my all opponents.
He's done a lot of his camp, obviously, with Charles Oliveira. He's trained a lot. Is there anything Charles can tell him about you that you're worried about?
Yeah, Charles is going to teach him how to tap.
Islam's observations were quickly noted by Chael Sonnen, who confessed that he was not fully convinced by the champion's analysis of Garry's fighting technique. Sonnen contended that there had to be something wrong. Either Garry does not really retreat all the time during his fights, or Islam is intentionally hiding his game plan from the rest. While Sonnen does not claim an upset will happen, he believes that Garry's footwork and reach, as well as strategic fighting, will turn this fight into something much more interesting than most people think. Sonnen cites the example of how Garry fought Shavkat Rakhmonov. Sonnen continued by pointing out that it is all about the selection of terminology in Islam's approach. He stressed that there is a huge difference between a fighter always on the move and one who is running. For example, in the sport of mixed martial arts, he said, it generally means a person that pulls back in exchanges rather than having excellent footwork. In Sonnen's opinion, if Garry actually spends most of the bout running, this might actually make him a tougher target for wrestling. Sonnen noted that in contrast to amateur wrestling and Olympic wrestling, where athletes should stay put or advance, MMA allows a lot of circling. While Sonnen thinks Garry's style might make the match more even, Brendan Schaub examined the bout from another perspective and said that the contender has real chances to give Islam Makhachev trouble. Schaub does not think that Garry is capable of finishing the bout, but thinks that his height, reach, calmness, and high fight IQ might allow him to implement a solid strategy for all 5 rounds and win the bout by decision. In addition to the matchup specifics, Schaub also revealed that he hopes that Garry wins the bout since he thinks that a more active champion will breathe life into the division. Schaub emphasized his point further by saying there is an issue of no actions from title challengers coming from Dagestan. According to him, it is the responsibility of the title holder to fight in their weight class on a consistent basis and not let the division sit idle for several months. Using Khamzat Chimaev as yet another example, Schaub says that some fighters become extremely inactive once they get to the top ranks, and this affects contenders and the fans waiting for new title bouts. He says whether or not the UFC should be more strict when it comes to inactive title holders. As debate over the fight continued, Alan Jubin shifted the focus from the stylistic matchup to the mental battle that could unfold before the cage door even closes. He expects Garry to lead the promotion with his confidence and willingness to get under Islam Makhachev's skin. Although Jubin admitted he questioned Garry's ceiling early in his UFC run, he believes the Irishman has evolved into a far more complete fighter whose self-belief is both genuine and dangerous. At the same time, he welcomed the more vocal side of Islam, saying the champion's recent trash talk has added an entertaining new dimension to an already compelling title fight. Jubin also highlighted what could be at stake for Makhachev beyond simply retaining his title. He noted that a victory over Ian Machado Garry would give the champion sole possession of one of the UFC's most impressive winning streak records, further strengthening his case as one of the greatest fighters in the sport's history. Even so, Jubin believes there is still work to be done before Islam can be placed among the very top names in the GOAT conversation. While acknowledging his remarkable accomplishments, he argued that Makhachev needs to continue building his resume with more high-level wins and title defenses to remove any remaining doubts. Adding to the discussion, YouTube analyst The Weasel pointed out that far more than a title is on the line for Makhachev. According to him, a victory over Garry would see Islam surpass Anderson Silva's long-standing UFC record with a 17th consecutive win, a mark that has remained untouched for more than a decade despite several champions coming close. He argued that such an achievement would elevate Makhachev's legacy to another level, especially considering many of those victories came in championship bouts across 2 weight classes. He also noted that another successful title defense would place Islam in an exclusive group of fighters to defend UFC titles in 2 different divisions, further strengthening his case among the sport's all-time greats. With history, legacy, and the welterweight title all on the line, this is shaping up to be one of the biggest fights of the year. Do you think Islam Makhachev continues his dominant reign and adds another historic achievement to his resume? Or can Ian Machado Garry shock the world with a career-defining upset? Let us know your thoughts and predictions in the comments below. And if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to subscribe for more MMA news, breakdowns, and exclusive updates.